Hi, I'm Paul Furlong, Creative Director at Opus Media and Director Consultant at BNI. How many times have you got back from a networking event and thought, well, that was a waste of time? I know I certainly have. And I bet it's for one simple reason. You didn't have a strategy going into the meeting. But why not? You have a strategy for your business. You have a strategy for driving home from work at the end of the day. You have a strategy for cooking your dinner. So why do so many of us have no strategy for networking events, show up to them and then act disappointed when we get nothing from them and blame the networking event? Here's a few things that I think might help you plan your next visit to a networking event so that you walk away with some business. The first thing we need to think about is, why do you want to go to a networking event? Most people's primary reason for going networking is to make more money. But networking is also a great way to research your competition or to keep your current clients happy. So let's assume you're going to make more money for your business. It's good to know how you plan to make more money from networking. Are you looking for clients or introducers? The golden egg or the golden goose that can lay multiple golden eggs? And please remember that networking is about relationships, not transactions. I'm sure you've met people at networking events who run up to you before you've had a chance to catch your breath and shove a business card in your hand and start talking about themselves, or worse, ask you to buy from them then and there. Are you ever going to do business with that person? It's like asking someone to marry you the first time you meet them. The end goal may well be the sale, but we're looking to start a relationship here that we can take to the next level at a later date. Once we know who we want to speak to and why, we need to know where they hang out. There's no point showing up to a networking group for deep sea divers if you're targeting the film industry. And the other thing to look for when picking a networking group is whether the other people who attend think the same as you. When I first set up Opus Media, I went to every networking event I could find, and to be honest, the majority of them were a waste of my time. I found myself asking 3 questions of the people who attended each event. The first was, are they in it for the long-term relationship? I'm sure you've heard the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And while this is true, I think in order to do good business from your network, it comes down to how well you know the people in it, not just how many people you know. The other 2 questions I asked were, have the other people at the event come prepared? And did they follow up with me afterwards? Because if not, this networking is just not for me. The next thing I would do to make sure I get results from my networking is request a delegate list from the event organizer to make sure I know who is planning on being in the room, so I know who to go and speak to. This allows me to spend my time wisely at the meeting, starting relationships with people I know I can help and who I know can help me. And there's a few things I like to prepare for when I meet these people. Firstly, it's good to talk as little about yourself as possible. You may have heard the phrase, if you want to be interesting, you have to be interested. So have a few questions prepared to get the other person talking. I like, tell me something about you, or what's happening in your world. Secondly, the chances are, if they're the kind of person you're likely to want to do business with, they're likely to ask you a similar question. It's a good idea to have a succinct story to answer their question with. I've done another video on entrepreneur.com called What Do You Do? How to Make a Great First Impression, where I go into this in a little bit more detail. The other question I'm regularly asked when networking is, who would be a good introduction for you? Or who would be an ideal client? So I always have an answer ready for this question in case that person can help. And finally, what should you take with you to a networking event? 2 things really. Plenty of business cards to hand out and your diary. Because all of the above is brilliant, but without follow-up is a giant waste of everybody's time. Remember, the networking is only the first date, so having your diary with you allows for you to plan your second date. And if you click with the person you're talking to, provided it's your golden egg or your golden goose, book your follow-up there and then in both your diaries, and then follow up with an email saying you're looking forward to meeting them on the date that you've set. So in conclusion, in order to make sure that networking isn't a waste of your time and generates business for you, be sure to plan a strategy for your next visit to a networking event. If you like what you've heard here, then please subscribe to my podcast, Rule the World, The Art and Power of Storytelling, available from wherever you download your regular podcasts from. This is Paul Furlong, Creative Director at Opus Media. Thanks for watching.